Welcome back, everyone, to a new episode of Rhody Football Gameday. I'm Noah McLane, Connor Derosia to my right, and Jonny Blair to my left. We have another fantastic episode for you guys. We're going to talk about the Rams coming off a bye week ahead of an 8-game slate that will determine how the Rams will fare in the rest of the season, guys. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Of course, we're going to talk about where the standings are in the CAA. We're going to talk about expectations during the bye week, expectations for Hampton, and, of course, some predictions and expectations for this year. All, of course, coming up right here on Rhody Football Gameday. Welcome back to Rhody Football Gameday. Connor Derosia, Jonny Blair, and Noah McLane. Well, let's dive right in, guys, to some of the scores and where the CAA standings lie after Week 4 and heading into Week 5 here. The past 2 weeks of football have brought plenty of notable results for numerous reasons. But, guys, let's talk about some of them. As, of course, Villanova suffered its first loss to Maryland earlier in that stead. New Hampshire took care of business against Bryant. Stony Brook defeating Campbell. And then some winners of the week. Maine over Merrimack. Hampton beat Howard, and as well as Richmond over Delaware State, and William Mary over Furman. Monmouth had the most notable victory of the week in CAA play with their first ever FBS win in a thrilling 45-42 victory.
Yeah, Monmouth's looking like a very scary team, but there was more action during the Rams bye week as Richmond got a big victory against Elon, 27-17. Maine beat University of Albany, who has not looked great this year. They were co-champions last year, guys, but have not looked great this year. Dropped a few games early that they really should not have. William and Mary stayed looking like a powerhouse in the CAA as they picked up another win over Hampton, who URI plays today. Delaware also looks like a stud in the CAA as they remain undefeated, the last undefeated team in the CAA. Villanova caught a W, and Stony Brook, Monmouth, and Campbell also all walked away with wins.
And now looking forward towards this next coming week where Rhody Football will be back on your screens. New Hampshire is going to go to Cambridge to face Harvard, and then also Bryant and Brown, a couple of Rhode Island teams that URI will face off with later in the season. They will face off against each other this week. Delaware heads to South Jersey for a conference matchup against Monmouth. Richmond will host NC-A&T. Villanova also traveling to Stony Brook. And William & Mary will take on Towson for a CAA evening battle later this week.
Well, a lot of things to look forward to. And, of course, the Rams also in action this week. We'll tell you more about that when we come back right here on Rhody Football Gameday. Well, guys, when you talk about the CAA, we talked about some of the results. Now, let's jump right into the standings. The 2024 regular season is well underway, guys. And with that being said, Delaware, they were the preseason, one of the favorites in that, and they have shown why at 4-0 in the all-time, and then right now 1-0 in conference play.
And now getting more into the mess of the CAA standings, we're going to start with Stony Brook, Villanova, and William & Mary are all 4-1, 1-0 in conference play. URI and New Hampshire, who both just are coming off of bye weeks this past week, are 3-1 with a CAA win to their name. Monmouth, Richmond, Hampton, and Maine all sit 3-2 with mixed results in conference play. Campbell, NC-A&T, Elon, UAlbany, Towson, and Bryant all suffered at least 3 or more losses this year.
Yeah, coming down the stretch of the schedule for the Rams, there's one number that's super important for them, and that's a number 3. They cannot have more than 3 losses on the entire season. That's 2 more losses. If they get more than that, they're kind of eliminated from playoffs. So there's a lot of schedule left, and there's 3 games specifically I want to look at for the Rams. It's versus Monmouth, versus New Hampshire, and versus Delaware. Every other game, I think the Rams should, not comfortably, but they should win. With Monmouth, they put up a ton of points. New Hampshire always gives us a hard time. Every single year for the last, seems like 3-4 years, it comes down to the wire against New Hampshire. And Delaware, like we said, is that powerhouse in the CAA. If Rhode Island could find a way to win 2 out of those 3 games, I think we're sitting super pretty for the playoffs and, looking good down the stretch.
And guys, well, Rhode Island right now is right where they need to be. They have a 3-1 record, and they are also one of the teams that is undefeated in conference play. That's a look at the CAA standings thus far. We'll be right back on Rhody Football Game Day. Welcome back to Rhody Football Game Day. As guys, let's almost take a step back here for a moment and let's reset. The Rams are now about to dive into the full conference play of things. And when we talk about that, the goal has always been the same. Of course, that's a CAA title, but that 7-win hump has been something that the Rams have fallen just short of in the past few years. 8 wins or more is something that the Rams look to do. And you guys are going to talk about a little bit about the defense and the offense and how those can contribute to that goal.
Absolutely. We're going to start with the defensive side of the ball, where Rhode Island has one of the most elite defenses in the CAA. Led by outside linebacker, edge rusher AJ Pena, who is, of course, a star on this defense. And then looking in the secondary, you have cornerback Rhody Football, who has had a tremendous year so far to start. And then also, you look at Jim Fleming's background as a defensive-minded coach, and then defensive coordinator Chris Laurenti, who's really hit his stride in his role over this past season. And it's no surprise that this Rams defense has taken a major step forward.
Yeah, now flipping to the other side of the ball, the offense has been the big question mark for this team, especially the quarterback position. And we still don't know really, who's taking the edge. We've seen more reps from Devin Farrell, but Hunter Helms has looked good at times. The end of LIU, he's looked very good at times. So the key to Rhode Island, getting only 2 more losses the rest of the season and going, 5-2 the rest of the way, is figuring out that offense. We see Malik Grant with a big 3-touchdown game this year. He has seemingly broke out now. Now it's finding ways to get the receivers the ball, even if the quarterbacks aren't necessarily, hitting their stride and, being perfect. Get Marquise Buchanan the ball in space. Get Sean Harris Jr. the ball. Find ways to get our playmakers the ball, even if our quarterbacks, are not perfect.
Yeah, nonetheless, guys, the way that the defense has played has been so fantastic. Then why not aim higher? Let's see if we can get a CAA title, not just that get over the 7-win mark. And some things that we don't need to worry about is not really the William and Mary or the Richmond teams. The teams that Rhode Island needs to focus on, in my mind, is, of course, Delaware. That is the number one priority right now. They are the team to beat. Of course, New Hampshire as well, another one of those powerhouses. And then, of course, I know we talked about UAlbany not having as much success as they maybe have had in previous years, but don't get it twisted. UAlbany is still a very talented team. They need to be taken down here at home. And simply put, guys, if the Rams do take care of business, there is no reason why a CAA title cannot come home right here to Meade Stadium and Rhode Island. But when we come back, we'll take a look at game preview and predictions, one of our favorite segments. And Connor, I hope you have brought your, a better mentality this week. We'll see what Connor brings and the rest right here on Rhody Football Game Day. Welcome back to Rhody Football Game Day. I'm Noah McLane here with Connor Derosia and Jonny Blair. Well, guys, let's talk about the opponent this week. That's Hampton, as URI goes down to Virginia to face off against them here. And, there's a lot of solid offense. That's something Rhode Island has struggled in, but Hampton has brought to the table really some great rushing offense, and it's complemented by some very talented quarterbacks, too, to be precise. Chris Zulos, 542 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, and then Malcolm Mays, 356 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions.
And you did just kind of hint at the running game that they do have. It's led by the senior running back Elijah Burris, who has 389 yards rushing, but they also have 5 other players with over 95 yards rushing this season, along with 5 receivers with 10-plus receptions and 90 yards on the season.
Yeah, and this Hampton defense, all right, they're nothing special. They do have a former Ram, Randy Jordan Jr., 9 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, and 3 pass breakups. They do allow a ton of yards on the ground, which is great for Malik Grant. They allowed a little bit over 200 yards rushing per game, so that'll be huge for the Rams going forward.
Absolutely, and guys, with that, let's just jump right into some of the predictions for this week. The first one is which team and who scores the first touchdown. Connor, we'll start with you.
Yeah, well, I kind of just said it, but Malik Grant, I think he's going to have a big game. I think he gets in the end zone on the first possession of the game.
Fantastic. Jonny, how about you?
And for me, it's going to be the wide receiver Greg Gaines. I think that with all the focus on the running game, I think that they're going to try and deviate from that and get Greg Gaines involved early in this one.
Guys, I might play the devil this week. I think Rhode Island has kind of started off the games slow. to start, but they've kind of built their way back from, at least when they're on the road. I don't know who exactly, but I might say that the first touchdown might be scored by Hampton to go us off. So sorry, Connor. I'll play your role this week. Now, who has the play of the game? Connor, how about you?
Yeah, I was playing next day. I was thinking Rhode Island. No, you stole my flag. Play of the game though, I think it's gonna be Freddie Malay. He's everywhere when he's out there on defense, and I think he gets a pick. This Rhode Island defense does not have an interception yet. I think we finally get one. Hampton's quarterbacks have been shown to throw picks, so I think Freddie Malay grabs one out of the air.
Fantastic. Johnny?
And for me, it's going to be going back to the star player on that defense, outside linebacker AJ Pena. We talk about him a lot on this show. He's one of the best players on this Rhode Island team. I think he's going to get in the backfield and make a big play in this one.
Guys, I'm going to say that the quarterback question is going to be answered this weekend, and Hunter Helms is going to earn that starting spot. He's going to come in and he's going to showcase his talent. And I think that might be something that maybe a lot of people weren't expecting. This is no disrespect, of course, to Devin Farrell and what he does, because he does a lot of great things. But I think he has a breakout performance this weekend. And then also, let's talk about the final score prediction and who wins this one.
Yeah, so I got the Rams winning 24-17. I don't really love what I've seen from Hampton. They haven't played necessarily a hard schedule. So they struggle to score the ball, especially with that question mark at quarterback that they have. We have that too. So I don't think we crossed that 30-point mark yet. I hope we do, but I don't think we do until we get that quarterback situation figured out and cemented. So,
and Johnny?
For me, I have also a Rams victory, but I do think that it's going to be a little bit more on the lower scoring side. We've talked so much about this Rhode Island defense. I think they're going to show up and show out. I do have the score being 14-10 in this one, and Rhody's taking home the victory.
I got Rhode Island as well, guys. I'll say that much. I think Rhode Island will come out after being down in the early parts of this one. I hope that's not the case, but that's my prediction. And I think they'll win this one by a final score of 21-14, and that's the final one. Well, folks, that's all we have for today. And, of course, one more time, Connor Derosia, Jonny Blair, and myself, Noah McLane. And, folks, a special weekend for you. Next weekend, the Rams will face Brown, and we will be live right here from the University of Rhode Island talking Rhody football. Catch it all next week on Rhody Football Game Day.